Welcome to the Gaming News and Updates Weekly Recap. We've got a bit of a new format, trying some new things. This week, we're joined by our new friend, the Iron Druid. Let's get right into our first topic. All right, first story, Nantcon releases their Q3 2022-2023 sales report. How's that going?
Game sales have gone up by 17.2%. It looks like digital acquisition of games have been very popular these days. However, game accessories have gone down over 41.5%. Looks like people aren't really buying any objects these days.
That's good, though. Digital sales still strong. That's always positive. Things looking forward. The future, as far as game sales, does look positive. Ending out the fiscal year. The games soon to be released are Lord of the Rings Gollum, RoboCop Rogue City, Games of Sherwood, and Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. And next up, Steam introduces the DLC Discovery Hub, coming with their Labs Experiment 15. What's that one about?
It's mostly a discovery hub about DLCs that are dropping or have already dropped about games that you've played currently, recently, or have used to play all the time. Seems pretty useless considering Steam's library already posts these things about you to you, so...
Yeah, that, and I did see SteamDB. Here's some shade saying that they've been having this feature on their site for a few years now. Moving on, Microsoft subpoenas Sony as they prepare for the FTC trial.
Given that Sony and Microsoft are rivals in the console space, and Sony has repeatedly objected to the acquisition, the platform holder will be reluctant to share details on certain aspects of its production, but the negotiations are designed to nail down what the company is willing to disclose.
Yeah, I guess we'll see as these negotiations move on. Will the FTC continue to try to block this acquisition, or if cooler heads can prevail and an agreement can get things going for all of us?
I think nothing's going to happen, like usual.
Next up, Fantastic delays the day before again after supposedly a trademark dispute. They're speaking up against a lot of the claims that their game is just scams.
Well, I mean, as you heard before, their game title is under a trademark dispute, but that being said, they did also make mention that they were planning on actually delaying it again already, namely because of something to do with, I guess, the creator himself, who's paying most of this out of pocket.
Yeah, it definitely gets hard to tell who's on the up and up. I did look into who made that trademark claim in the US. That person themselves was in South Korea. Not sure where Fnatic is from, but the regions being in similar areas, definitely things are looking fishy. Now one that hits kind of close to home, EGM Now and the Washington Post are both done. Washington Post as a whole, but their video game division done covering games. How does that make you feel?
Well, EGM has closed down before back in 2009, but it was reopened back in 2010, so maybe we might see something like that happen again. But it also sounds like Activision isn't the only person who's laying off people, as a lot of media posts and centers are shutting down and laying off people during, or at least for games.
And this one, life seems to imitate art. Proletariat, Ripley named, does not get the votes to unionize.
Well, it sounds like the article itself was very passive-aggressive, with CTO Seth Sivaks reportedly demoralizing and disempowering the group using confrontation tactics recommended to him by Blizzard itself.
While there have been attempts by multiple other companies to unionize within the video game atmosphere, it does seem to be an uphill battle for them. All right, coming from Twitter, we have some pictures from the new Fallout TV show set.
Looking unofficial, but it still looks to be entertaining, as it looks to be a show worth remembering.
Yeah, the early pictures do clearly look like the Red Rocket gas station. Coming off the heels of the Last of Us show that just debuted, hopefully it could be another good one.
I hope so. Generally speaking, in the Hollywood business, not a lot of video game related things have gone well.
Yeah, high hopes, low expectations. Almost thankfully, Microsoft is shutting down their metaverse, AltSpace VR.
Well, it seems like the second time is finally the last time, as they're focusing all of their development on Microsoft Mesh, which seems to be use holograms and 3D capturing to let people do things and everything together.
It sounds exciting. I can't wait to not afford it and not play this one either. And finally, after a few weeks of turmoil, D&D has decided that they will not change their OGL.
Thank God, says all the D&D players, as we finally say goodbye to the new OGL bullshit and back to the original. That means you get to keep all your good shows, your good YouTube channels, and everything more.
Do you think you, though, and the community at large will continue to do D&D, or As
I
I've
mean,
seen,
we were largely unaffected by the new OGL anyway, but we still like the new the old OGL, just because those best shows that we have that like to watch, we would still go on off and watch. Still gonna play D&D, maybe not gonna be as supportive of Wizards though.
that's this week's show. Like I said, we're trying something new. If you like what you heard, consider subscribing for next week's show, or check out our Discord where all these stories and many, many more are always posted constantly. Each of these stories as well is linked down in the description with the original source. Have a good one.